He shouldn't stay by her side.
So I should kill.
A ruler who kills those devoted to her is not a ruler who inspires devotion. You're going to need to inspire devotion.
Yora was banished from Meereen again. Tyrion's suggestion was what Dany wanted. It saved her face, and forgave Yora, because deep down, Dany couldn't kill such a loyal man. And so, Tyrion stayed in Meereen, and when Dany was captured by the Dothraki at the arena, during her disappearance, Meereen was leaderless. Tyrion became everyone's backbone. He and Varys rebuilt the harbor, and calmed the people. He managed Meereen well, and with his own methods, he quelled the rebellious slavers, buying time for Dany's return. More importantly, Tyrion released the dragons from their dungeon. The situation in Meereen was uncertain, and he had read the Targaryen history, knowing Aegon had kept dragons penned, leading to their decline. This played a key role in Dany's recapture of Meereen. Tyrion's performance and management skills earned Dany's approval. He was named Hand of the Queen. Tyrion's strategies were still on point. He lived up to his position. What kind of character is so bad and twisted, yet likable? If you had to choose such a character, in Game of Thrones, it'd be Ramsay Bolton. He enjoyed torturing people, nicknamed the Bastard of Bolton. Speaking of Ramsay's most heinous acts, it's his love-hate with Theon.
Sorry. He's sleeping.
After Ned was beheaded in King's Landing, Theon betrayed Winterfell. He turned against the Starks. Just as he was about to make his mark, he fell into Ramsay's hands. Theon had no idea who captured him, or where he was. He faced endless torture and torment. When Theon was at his breaking point, Ramsay pretended to be a servant and saved him, and gave Theon a horse, telling him to flee towards the sun. But instead of his rescuer, he was met by soldiers. Theon desperately tries to escape, but in an unfamiliar place, he's finally captured. Just as he loses all hope, arrows pierce the soldiers' chests. Ramsay appears like a savior. Theon places complete trust in this young squire before him, but when following Ramsay to leave, they enter the Dreadfort instead. Ramsay lights a torch, revealing the dark chamber. Theon realizes in horror, he's back where his nightmare began. They say the cruelest despair is having hope brutally crushed. Ramsay masters this torment. Just as Theon thinks he's free, he's imprisoned again. Daily he endures both mental and physical torture. Ramsay methodically breaks Theon, transforming him into a willing servant named Reap. Theon becomes Ramsay's Reap. Meanwhile, Littlefinger brings Sansa north. He plans to marry Sansa to Ramsay, the Stark's enemy. Though resistant, she has no choice. Her only protector is the man who saved her from King's Landing. But Sansa is merely a pawn in Littlefinger's schemes. Years later, Winterfell feels alien to her now. The former lady is now a guest. Facing Roose Bolton, her brother's killer, Sansa forces a polite smile. She escaped Joffrey's cruelty, only to meet Ramsay's greater brutality. On their wedding night, Ramsay forces Theon to stay, witnessing the consummation. Days pass with Sansa enduring daily abuse. Theon brings her meals, her sole human contact. To this Stark traitor, Sansa appeals for help. She gives him a candle, begging him to light the tower. An old servant had instructed, light the candle in danger, but under constant watch. She's had no chance. Theon takes the candle, but betrays her to Ramsay. Next day, the old servant, who helped Sansa, is brutally killed. Escape becomes Sansa's only hope. When her chance comes, Miranda intercepts them. This jealous woman wants Sansa dead. As Miranda draws her back, Theon overcomes fear, saving Sasha's life. Ramsay's troops approach, forcing them to the walls. They leap for survival. Looking at the thick snow below, Theon tightly grips Sansa's hand. The hearts of two Starks reunited in this moment. Inside Winterfell, Ramsay Bolton's father Roose Bolton flew into rage upon learning Sansa's escape. He needed the entire North's allegiance. Without Sansa, House Bolton would lose all support. Ramsay could never produce an heir.
Without an heir? Well,
Ramsay would remain a bastard in House Bolton forever, could never inherit his father's position. Worse news came. Bolton's other wife was pregnant, likely carrying a son. Outside the North, Theon and Sansa ran desperately. Even the bone-chilling river couldn't stop them. They knew freezing was better than recapture. Snow hit their tracks, but not their scent. Soon, Ramsay's hounds found Sansa and Theon. As hope faded, Brienne of Tarth emerged from the woods. She'd been shadowing Sansa. The old servant was her doing. After dispatching the pursuers, she gazed at the weathered girl, planted her sword before them, as she once pledged to Sansa's mother.
Lady Sansa, I offer my services once again. Shield your back and keep your counsel and give my life for yours if need be.
After enduring hardships, Sansa embraced a new beginning. Next, Brienne would accompany her to Castle Black, to seek refuge with Jon Snow. When Ramsay learned Miranda died by Theon's hands, he briefly mourned, grief because When the maester asked about funeral rites, Ramsay coldly ordered,
Forgive me. Feed it to the Harrys.
News of Sansa's escape reached Winterfell. Roose Bolton always despised his bastard. Losing Sansa undermined him, costing him Northern Lord's support. Roose reached peak disappointment in Ramsay. The maester brought news.
My lords, Lady Walder has given birth. A boy.
Ramsay ceded. This trueborn brother threatened his position in the family. Ramsay approached his father, embraced him with false warmth. Then suddenly, Ramsay drew a hidden blade, plunged it into his father's heart. Roose Bolton collapses with disbelief etched on his face, falling to the ground. A grim echo of the Red Wedding emerges, where he stabbed Robb Stark with cold steel. Fate's retribution for violating guest right. Ramsay orders the maester to spread word of Roose's demise by Raven across the north, fabricating poison as the cause of death. Ramsay confronts his stepmother, still oblivious to the regime change. He leads her purposefully to the kennel's final destination. Dawning horror crosses her face. Where is Lord Bolton? She persists. Ramsay coldly unlatches kennel gates, methodically releasing hounds, one after another, finally declaring with icy calm,
I am Lord Bolton.
The terrible truth strikes her. Death's certainty unfolds. No escape from this fate. Mercy. She pleads desperately. I'll leave Winterfell at once, but he's your brother. I prefer being an only child. A sharp whistle seals her doom. Thus Ramsay Bolton claims his birthright, unaware this very kennel will become his own tomb. This pivotal Game of Thrones moment showcases humanity's first major battle against the White Walker threat, the living versus the dead. History will call it Hardhome. Jon Snow ventures beyond the wall, seeking wildling allies with Tormund. Ancient grudges run deeper than Night's Watch calculations. The Lord of Bones meets them with steel, spitting contempt. Crow lies. No free passage through that ice prison you call home. Tormund's intervention clears a path, allowing Jon to address the clans. Chieftains gather, distrust palpable. Jon's offer hangs in frozen air. Safe passage through the wall, land for your people, in exchange for unity. When the long night comes, stand together with the living. No single clan can survive the dead's endless march. Our only hope lies in standing united. Jon reveals dragonglass weapons, deadly to White Walkers. Humanity's crucial advantage. Survival instinct overcomes old hates. Say the Den leader's defiance. We kneel to no Southern Crow. At dawn's light, wildling boats fill with exiles. Ed gathers forgotten dragonglass, while hounds bark frantically outside. Every activity halts abruptly. Eyes turn northward. The once clear mountaintop skies. A blizzard suddenly descends. The wildlings at the foot of the hill flee. Screams of terror fill the air. The Den leader senses danger. He orders the gates shut. Those who didn't make it inside are locked out of the camp. As the storm rages, the cries for help fade, until they suddenly stop. The Den leader cautiously approaches, peering through the wooden gate. A skeletal arm reaches in. Then, a horde of whites attacks. They slam against the gate. A battle between the living and the dead begins. The evacuation turns into chaos. People scramble for the escape boats. Even their own kin show no mercy. Watching the wildlings lose control, Jon Snow draws his sword. He leads the Night's Watch into battle. He knows if the line breaks, they're all doomed. A few whites have breached the gate. They're inside the camp. There are archers, but the whites number in the thousands. Jon, Tormund, and the others temporarily relieve the pressure. But the figures on the mountain scorn everything. They're confident of victory. Jon remembers the dragonglass. He crosses the battlefield. As he reaches the tent, a giant bursts out. Under the giant's cover, Jon rushes to find the dragonglass. He sees an unbelievable sight inside. This White Walker is one of the Night King's commanders. The Den leader tells Jon to get the dragonglass. He'll hold off the Walker, but the powerful Den is defeated instantly. His weapon is shattered. The Walker easily ends him. Jon frantically searches. Just as he grabs the dragonglass, the Walker throws him aside. His weapon falls outside the tent. Jon gets up and tries to fight back, but he's no match. He grabs a sword while fleeing, but the result is the same as with the Den. It touches the Walker's ice weapon and shatters. He's knocked to the ground. Knowing he can't win, Jon flees. As the Walker approaches, he braces himself. Then, he instinctively raises his sword. His sword doesn't shatter. Jon doesn't know the sword Mormont gave him is made of Valyrian steel. It's infused with ice magic. It can hurt White Walkers. Valyrian steel weapons are the second thing that can kill them. The Night King coldly watches his commander die. He's unfazed. The whites keep pouring into the camp. A female leader fights desperately. She sees white children and freezes. She's a mother herself. She drops her weapon and shields herself. She lets them attack. Jon struggles to his feet. A piercing scream rings out. The Night King leads a full assault. Jon is stunned, but then, the Whites suddenly reanimate. The last line of defense crumbles. As the gate breaks, Whites flood the camp. Giant 1-1 helps Jon and others escape. At this moment, the battle seems pointless. The wildlings' last refuge is gone. Jon and his group reach the last boat. Those left behind are doomed. The Whites continue their slaughter until the last person falls. The chaos falls silent. Time seems to stand still. The Night King's footsteps break the silence. He scoffed at Jon Snow's retreat. This was humanity's first clash with the White Walkers. It ended in a crushing defeat. The Night King slowly raised his arm. He would show the world that fear goes deeper. Then, the bodies on the ground began to twitch, and they opened their eyes. Countless wildlings who died in the war were resurrected. Blue eyes signaled. They had become part of the undead army. Jon Snow despaired at what he saw. Soon after, Jon led the remaining wildlings to the wall. He kept his promise, and brought the wildlings into Castle Black. However, the Night's Watch's ancient hatred was not so easily dissolved. That night, Jon was reviewing the Lord Commander's letters when Ollie rushed in, saying that someone had news of Benjen. Benjen was Jon's uncle, who hadn't returned from arranging. Jon rushed to check it out, but as he moved through the crowd, he saw the word traitor. Jon turned back in disbelief. A cold blade pierced his body. Then a second. Jon never imagined that the strength he worked so hard to gather would lead to betrayal by the Night's Watch.